Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Kent. People, even introverts, need to see and be seen, as a wise colleague of mine used to say. Ours is a church that strives to help everyone feel seen, welcome, and acknowledged. Who knows, you might even make a friend. Please take the next few minutes to greet those around you. Those on Zoom can enter a breakout room. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to the first Bring a Friend to Church Day in a long time. I am Heidi Schaefer-Bish. My husband and worship associate Randy Bish and I thought we would bring back this time-honored pre-pandemic tradition as a lay-led service, another time-honored tradition here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Kent. Our settled minister, the Reverend Stephen Protzman, will be back in the pulpit next week. How many of you brought friends today? Welcome, friends, and welcome to anyone who is new or has been returning after a long hiatus. We've all had to do that in our own way. We hope you enjoy today's service, and many of you, and maybe some of you, will be curious enough to come back on your own. If you'd like more information on this church or Unitarian Universalism, the usher can bring you a green card, or you can ask for one as you leave that you can fill out and hand to the usher. I'm sure your friend and other friendly people in the congregation will be happy to talk to you about the life of this church in our coffee hour right here after this service. Also, if anyone has a joy or concern to share, please complete a yellow card and give it to the usher who will walk around during the first hymn. Randy will be sharing those later. You don't have to wait for the next Friend Day to invite a friend, but it sometimes helps with the occasional awkwardness of asking. Shana Steinhaus reminded me that I had introduced her to this church many years ago by inviting her to a Bring Your Friend to Church Sunday. Is Shana here? Well, Shana, Max can pass it on. Thank you for that remembrance. And thank you and your family, Max and Sophie, for bringing so much to this church ever since. One more thing. These dual platform services really take a committed team of people working together and behind the scenes. Let's take a moment to thank our tech team. And the people who do the slides and the lovely order of service. There are many others, including greeters, coffee makers, don't forget the coffee makers, musicians, and a whole worship arts team behind us. And thank you to those of you who are actively participating in this special service on friendship, whom you will soon meet.
As is tradition, we begin with our singing bowl chime. Let's see if we can get this thing to sing.
Strong is what we make each other, with the power of a hand in the hand of another. Gathering now, sing it all together. We're building a world of love. And we're given these mountains to climb. The road is long and the path treacherous. Together we're sounding a cry, searching for the light at the top of the hill. Circle is the way we lift each other. Arm in arm we're bound together. Living from the heart, our love is delivered, and we're held by the hands of God. And we're walking this long trodden road, lifted by the light of the truth in the universe, singing these old songs of hope. Every step we're learning the way. When I'm walking all alone, I can feel the weight on my shoulder. I'm weary and I'm old, and this road just gets longer. When I'm reaching out a hand, you're proving it over and over. You make me understand that with love we get stronger. Strong is what we make each other. Circling now, stronger together. Family, foe, friend, or neighbor, our vision is a world of love. And we're given these mountains to climb. The road is long and the path treacherous. Together we're sounding a cry, searching for the light at the top of the hill. And we're given these mountains to climb. The road is long and the path treacherous. Together we're sounding the cry, searching for the light at the top of the hill.
Thank you, Blaine, Vanessa, Hal. Several years ago, me and 4 other men decided that there was a missing link in our spiritual development. It was a synchronistic occurrence that we were all thinking the same thing at the same time. We felt the need for a connection with other men who could understand our unique needs. And you know, men have unique needs. We met together for several years, and we became my best friends. Michael, Larry, Stephen, Wade, and me. We openly and honestly shared our felt weaknesses, our fears, and our struggles, and our joys as well. This changed us and strengthened us as husbands and friends. It's a very rare thing that happens, but it's possible. I'm going to speak in generalities right now with what I'm going to say, so bear with me. Please don't judge me. Generally, men are experiencing a friendship recession. Studies have shown that over the years, men have fewer and fewer friends. In 1990, a study revealed that 55% of men who were studied had a best friend. Recent studies showed of the men that were surveyed, only 27% had a close friend. Now, there are a lot of reasons for that, but I want to share with you what has helped me along the way. I'm the type of guy who I will talk to anybody. I don't know you on the street, I'm going to stop and talk to you. I'm more extroverted that way. There are extroverts and introverts, but no matter which you are, you have to put yourself out there, guys. I left Pittsburgh. I was yanked from Pittsburgh 5 years ago to be... I voluntarily left Pittsburgh 5 years ago to be with Heidi, and I had to start making friends from scratch. So, I kept the friends that I had in the past, but now I'm in a new place, new location. I knew none of you. What did I do? I talked to people. I met a lot of other people, some with familiar, similar names and interests, like Randy, 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 really? David, David, Todd, there's a different one, Kevin, and Kevin, who I invited to come today as my friend. A couple of years ago, I became a part of a small group which helped open up a new way of making friends. And I volunteered for opportunities, and you can too, in the church and community. And in doing so, I expanded my opportunities for my friendship circle. Those are just a few relatively easy ways that I learned to make new friends and build friendships. How many of you have friends? Kind of a silly question, right? How many of you would like to make new friends? Yeah. It's enriching, and it helps develop you in so many ways, and creates a lot of awesome memories through your path in life.
A flame within a chalice is a primary symbol of the Unitarian Universalist faith tradition. We kindle a flame to mark the beginning of worship and other sacred times. As Joe Brannon comes forward to light our chalice, please say with me the covenant of our faith as printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Our covenantal response song is an old Girl Scout song. I asked Joe Brannon to share a reflection on friendship for this service at a Kent City Council meeting, where her Girl Scout troop was presenting a bench to the city made from the soft plastic they had collected. I thought this song fit well with both our common experience of Girl Scouting and today's topic. Now, this song is usually sung as a round. Solace and Vanessa will lead you in singing it together one time, and then they will each lead half the room in singing it as a two-part, we'll do the simple version, a two-part round 3 times.
Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is friends and keep the gold. Make new friends, but keep the old. Make new friends and keep the gold. Make new friends and the others gold. Make new friends and keep the gold. One is silver and the other's gold.
To me, friendship means trust, because without trust, you don't know if you have a fake friend or if they're just a regular friend. And you should be able to trust your friends. Trust is crucial with friendship, even if it takes a long time to trust, just like friendship and any other things that are new. Though having friends may not be new, each new friend is. Friendship also represents patience, because it usually takes time to make a friend, and that is fine, because a lot of things seem to take patience and trust. But friendship takes both. That's what friendship means to me. Friendship even means love as a whole, because love doesn't always mean having a partner in life or your family. It also means support and kindness. No matter what, love finds a way. People may say bad things about you, but a friend will stand up for you and not judge you. And that makes you feel loved, doesn't it? Plus, if you were to ask how friendship is related to this church, that answer would come quickly. Because just like I said earlier, that friendship is patience and trust, this church is built out of both. Because to build and keep this church, we have to have patience with others, which makes them and us feel welcome. And that's what we stand for, and really who we are. We also have to trust others to make important decisions, and them to us. Our church is friendship, our church is trust, support, patience, kindness, and most importantly, our main goal to all people in this church, love. The friends I've made are my closest friends, and we help each other through better or for worse. These friends are Lo, Iona, Kailani, Raylan, Blaze, and others. I will always feel welcome here, and I'm sure others do too. We will always know that this church is a safe space for all.
Not only do we hold the children, but one another. In life, it brings lots of ups and downs, yeah? One week it will be wonderful, maybe the next day is not so good. But one of the things is we have the opportunity to share with friends our concerns and our joys. And we do that each Sunday morning. We share what our concerns are and what our joys are. And we rejoice together and we weep together. I have two here that were given to me. One from Max Grubb, that a friend, Mark Biviano, died from leukemia. I'd just like to take a moment. We generally have a time of silence at a different time, but I want us just to take a moment now to lift up David's family and Max as they experience the loss. I don't see any concerns shared on chat at this time. If you're here and you have a concern, feel free to mention that name or that event that you would like to share with us. Let's pray together. Spirit of life, we express our gratitude for life, for friendships, and for love. And in our interconnectedness, we share our concerns with one another. May we grow stronger together as we do so. We are remembering now our loved ones and friends who need a caring touch. Those in physical or emotional pain. Those overcoming any dependencies or abuse. And we lift up and remember family members and friends who have deeply felt needs. We lift our hearts together, sending love and light and strength to all who are in need. May it be so. We do have joys. Not only the sad times and the hard times. How about chat? Those of you on chat, on Zoom, feel free to share your joys. How about you? Joys? Springtime. Spring. Who? Retirement. Yeah. Lucky you. Good for you. Camping. Anything else? Jamie is graduating. Yeah. A wonderful event. James working. Yay. Your granddaughter's graduating also.
All my friends who are here.
Yay. Do you want to name them, Andrew? Or you forgive me, yeah? So, during concerns, I missed a couple of people. Sorry about that, people on Zoom. But someone is sharing. Wen is sharing loss of a dear aunt who is being honored at her stone setting today with family who loved her so dearly. And Todd is speaking there. That's Wendy, and must be Todd Mann. Joe Comerley shares that taking his son Connor on college tours this past weekend. I don't know if that's a concern. I guess it could be a concern, yeah. It's also a joy. Thinking of so many dear church friends, this is also from Wendy, thinking of so many dear church friends that have moved away or passed away. Marta, Dominiquez, Betsy, Choco, Zako, I'm sorry. You are friends. Thank you. Clinton and Olive Hobbs, and Bev and Larry Cole. And here's a joy she shares. Coleman is heading off to hike Appalachian Trail with a group of high schoolers from the Expedition Academy this week. And Joe Comerley says, yes, it is both a concern and a joy. So we rejoice together, we hold one another with concerns and giving strength to one another, and that's what friends do. That's what friends are for.
I'm going to read a poem on friendship from The Prophet, which is a book by Khalil Gibran. And this was written in the 1920s, and it's still quite, I think, relevant today. And a youth said, "Speak to us of friendship." And he answered, saying, "Your friend is your needs answered. He is your field, which you sow with love and reap with thanksgiving. And she," little license there, "is your board and your fireside. For you come to her with your hunger, and you seek him for peace. When your friend speaks her mind, you fear not the nay in your own mind, nor do you withhold the I. And when he is silent, your heart ceases not to listen to his heart. For without words, in friendship, all thoughts, all desires, all expectations are born and shared with joy that is unacclaimed. When you part from your friend, you grieve not. For that which you love most in her may be clearer in her absence, as the mountain to the climber is clearer from the plain. And let there be no purpose in friendship save the deepening of the spirit. For love that seeks aught but the disclosure of its own mystery is not love, but a net cast forth, and only the unprofitable is caught. And let your best be for your friend. For if she must know the ebb of your tide, let her also know its flood. For what is your friend that you should seek him with hours to kill? Seek her always with hours to live. For it is her to fill your need, but not your emptiness. And in the spirit of friendship, let there be laughter and sharing of pleasures. For in the dew of little things, the heart finds its morning and is refreshed.
Heidi and I are BFFs, best friends forever. When I hear that term, I have to admit I cringe a little bit. I've seen groups of women with matching t-shirts on vacation or on a pre-wedding outing who use the term BFF. But for me, it has a deeper meaning because I have experienced our BFF friendship as a deep and committed relationship. It's the kind of relationship where I could call my friend at 11 p.m. at night when I was 3 states away, and my child just accidentally ran over the cat sleeping under the car and needed to take the injured cat to the emergency vet on the other side of Akron, and then to console my child as our beloved cat needed to be euthanized. We have that kind of friendship. Our friendship story begins here at the UU Church of Kent around 1996. The church was in a budget crisis, and I, a brand new member, convened an ad hoc fundraising committee to help us to address the 20% deficit budget. I scheduled a spaghetti dinner and asked for volunteers. Heidi came up to me at coffee hour and offered to help. I learned that Heidi's husband, Ken, had recently died. Their son, Connor, was around 10. I also had a son, Keegan, several years younger. Heidi gave me some adorable clothes that Connor had outgrown. I made other new friends at church, including Brett Orsburn. At that time, the church needed a membership database. Brett had the technical skills and Heidi had the people skills, so I asked them to co-chair the task force. They ended up becoming a couple and eventually married. Heidi was becoming a yoga teacher at the time. She held fireside yoga classes in her adorable craftsman-style home on South Willow Street. I attended, as did my future, not yet known about spouse, Randy. We also just spent a lot of time together hanging out and talking about all sorts of things. Most of these moments were ordinary, but I realize now that time spent just hanging out in ordinary moments creates the relational glue that binds people together. When I went into labor with my second child, Kendra, I dropped my son Keegan off at Heidi and Brett's house on the way to the hospital. 6 weeks later, when my then husband had appendicitis, Heidi drove him to the hospital. Not too long after that, my marriage was in trouble. Heidi had experienced infidelity in her first marriage. After she witnessed how my husband was interacting with one of his students at a May 4th event, she gently shared what she had seen. My friend giving voice to what I was afraid to admit to myself gave me the courage and resolve to face what was happening. Heidi was one of the few confidants I had at the time. My ex and I went to counseling, but he insisted that we keep our problems a secret from family and friends. I insisted that I would still talk to Heidi. I am so grateful that Heidi was a witness to everything that happened. When I learned that my ex had been lying during our joint counseling, I had a friend who could hold the complexity and betrayal with me because she had been my confidant as it was happening. Even though I lost my partner of 20 years and all of that shared history, I still had a friend who knew me and cared about me deeply. I was able to return the favor several years later after her new husband, Brett, was diagnosed with cancer. He died soon afterward. The weekend after the memorial service, Randy and I took Heidi on a road trip to Bloomington, Indiana, a place where both Heidi and Randy had lived when they were younger, and she got to reconnect to some older memories as part of her grief and healing. These are only a few scenes from the many scenes that make up our friendship story. And there are other friendship stories I could tell about my relationships with other people in this church. All of these friendships have one common theme. They all blossomed because I made time and found ways to spend ordinary time together. Sharing a meal, going for a hike, going camping, watching a movie. Building a friendship is as simple as that.
My workplace has an annoying question on the annual employee engagement survey. Do you have a best friend at work? Other people have that question? Am I supposed to? I actually find the question a little sad because I did have a bestie at work a couple of times in the 12 years I've been there. But I've been going through a dry spell for a while. There was one such friend, Betsy, that I felt a strong connection with after working together through the ordeal of closing out complex capital funding grants that got dumped on us. We laughed a lot and commiserated and found we had interests in common. She eventually left the organization, but we looked for ways to keep the friendship going through mutual interests of music and hiking, as well as a new common interest in yoga. I have another such friend on my other job, Kent City Council. Tracy and I call ourselves the Green Girls, and we plot together and second each other's motions, especially regarding environmental actions. We have served together since 2008, but at the end of this year, Tracy will be moving off City Council, and I hope we can maintain an ongoing friendship connection. I will try to do my part, as I really respect her integrity and intellect. She makes me think, and I enjoy her company. I have another friend who is here, Barb. Barb and I have a strong connection through a mutual long-time interest in yoga and in helping each other through difficult times. We have made it a point to get together regularly to share what is happening in our lives, and we are touchstones for one another in maintaining a spiritual practice and outlook on life, no matter how challenging the going gets. You've heard Renee's side of our long and deep friendship, and I could add much, much more to that story. You all have friendship stories as well, including many deep friendships, and some made through this church. What is a friend? The Irish writer, John O'Donoghue, says that friendship is not merely a relationship. Friendship is a deeper, more sacred connection than an acquaintance at work or someone you see a lot on Facebook. O'Donoghue says that a friend is a loved one who awakens your life in order to free the wild possibilities within you. Have you any friends like this? Psychologist and longtime Kripalu yoga teacher in residence, Stephen Cope calls these persons soul friends. Soul friends. In his book, Deep Human Connection, Why We Need It More Than Anything Else, Cope challenges us to list 12 or so people with whom you have felt the most deeply connected in your life. These are your soul friends. He lists the sometimes overlapping roles these soul friends may have played for you. Number one, your friend may have given you a feeling of safety and securely held and soothed you. Cope calls this friend the container. Do you have friends that you have reached out to in times of hurt? They have likely helped you relax and expand and let you truly be yourself, which is key to psychological and spiritual development. 2, this friend has inspired a sense of belonging and a likeness with others. Cope calls this the twin. This is the meaning of namaskar. I see myself in you. Of course, we don't have to be alike in superficial ways like personality. We can find this twin in people that on the surface do not appear to be physically or culturally or really anything like us until we get deeper. Belonging is a human need, and both Cope and O'Donoghue have written books on this topic. belonging. Number 3, this friend has challenged or frustrated you, but in ways that turned out to be good or helpful to you. Sometimes this might be a teacher or someone who names a painful truth. Cope calls this the noble adversary, and this is a bit beyond the scope of this service. But as Reverend Stephen said, this could make a pretty good service of its own. Do you have a noble adversary in your life? Number 4, this friend has seen something special in you and has reflected you back to yourself in important ways. Cope calls this friend the mirror. This friend inspires you to learn your strengths and persevere in who you are. 5, another kind of friend is a companion that has shared your struggle to understand and to express and fulfill your true self. They have become allies in your search for an authentic and fulfilled life. Cope calls this friend the conscious partner. I call this friend rare and precious, as this can be the result of that long-term deepening or multi-layered friendship that might come from knowing each other through many of life's seasons. But it can be true of newer friendships too. Randy and I see the potential of this partnership in one another, and I have felt aspects of this with some of my closest friends. Where does one find such friends who support us in these ways? Well, just about anywhere. As Renee said, there needs to be time spent in ordinary moments. There needs to be trust, as Joe mentioned. And there needs to be desire to develop and cultivate friendships and willingness to share, as Randy's experience suggests. I think church is a particularly rich ground for friendships to bloom and become stronger. I landed in Kent in 1996 for graduate school. I did not intend to stay here. But because I made connections in this church and in this community, I decided to stay in Kent and set down roots. Yes, friends, you were that important. Some of you were there back in 1996. One of the ways I made deeper connections over the years was through covenant groups, where we get together monthly to discuss a theme in a format that includes sitting with silence. Sitting with silence. We really start to know and care about one another. Here's an example. When a member of our church, Jack Graham, recently died, members of his longtime covenant group attended the memorial service and movingly spoke about him. He had felt a strong connection as well and gave the church a significant legacy gift. What does friendship require of us? John O'Donohue says that friendship is not achieved, but it is always an act of recognition. We recognize something of ourselves in our friend, but that isn't enough to build a long-standing and strong friendship. Friendship needs a lot of nurturing beyond the initial sharing and trust-building phases. You know the saying, that you find out who your true friends are when you go through a difficult period and you need someone to help, someone to lean on. Although sometimes those friends are experiencing their own difficulties where they may not be able to step up at that time. If you value their friendship, it is worth trying again. Stephen Cope probably borrowed the term soul friend from John O'Donohue's term anam cara. Anam cara. Maybe you have heard of his beautifully moving book titled the same. Anam is the Gaelic word for soul, and cara is the word for friend. In the early Celtic church, anam cara was a teacher, companion, or spiritual guide to whom you confessed the hidden intimacies of your life, your innermost self, your heart, and your mind. O'Donohue says, we have a great longing to be understood as we are without masks or pretension. An Anamkara or soul friend can help you feel seen, but you need to also be this friend and see them beyond their masks. I think of friendship as a sacred practice of learning to know, love, and transform ourselves and another through attention, support, shared experiences, and of course, love. It is a great gift as well as an investment of ourselves, and it is perhaps one of the highest spiritual practices of all. In On Friendship, Khalil Gibran said, "Friendship is for no purpose other than to deepen our spirits." This church exists because people give of their time, treasure, resources, and friendship. This month, we also have a special offering for our ministers' discretionary fund that provides support to congregation and community members often in urgent need. During the offertory, please enjoy this slideshow of friendship put together by Brad Bolton, a wonderful and longtime friend who put his time and attention into creating this. Thank you, Brad. And during the offering, if you've brought a friend, Randy and I will walk through and indicate if you brought a friend, or if you're new to this church today, we have a special gift for you, a yellow rose. Yellow is the color of sunshine, just like a friend on a rainy day.
Alaki, who am I? Who am I? I'm a child, living in a world, full of love. Everywhere I go, everyone I see, just another version of me. One world, one ocean, one beauty, one mountain, one motion, one majesty. What if I'm another you and you are really just another version of me? I love you, I do. What if I could only see that every person that I meet, every bird and every tree is just another part of me emerging. What if it's true? Enlake, one song to sing my heart awake, one candle burns for heaven. Whoa, whoa. Look at all the work we've done, everybody showing up. And look at how far we've come, everybody building the path of love. Now we gotta keep walking it, Well, somebody got an idea and then they go talking it. We show up to make it real and then we go building the path of love. Now we gotta keep walking it, gotta keep moving it. Who knows where to go? Just keep on the winding path. Which road do you suppose is the path of love? Just keep on walking, writing, loving, and fight. Keep on working, praying, living and die. The heart of the thing I'm trying to say is the beating pulse of every day. It's the song I sing, the prayer I pray to lead my path all along the way. Listen, in gratitude. For who shall we live? And how will we be remembered? Inheritors of the moment. Our legacy never ends. This life's for the living, for the loving and the giving. It's a gift for the children of the generations ahead. My heart is full and my hands are open, and the work of love is the life I've chosen. My arms are wide in a world that's broken, with a holy tribe, this human race in motion. For whom shall we live? And how will we be remembered? Inheritors of the moment. Our legacy never ends. This life's for the living, for the loving and the giving. It's a gift for the children of the generations ahead. My heart is full and my hands are open, and the work of love is the life I've chosen. My arms are wide in a world that's broken, with a holy tribe, this human race in motion.
Thanks again, Brad, and thank you to Hal, who provided the music for that.
As we extinguish our chalice, the words for extinguishing the chalice are found in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. May we carry these in our hearts and minds until we are together again.
John O'Donohue says that friendship is a creative and subversive force, helping we humans on our human journey of continuous transfiguration. And yes, that is a Hogwarts term. We need one another. We need to know one another and be known, and this takes time, sometimes walking in rain or sharing a rose. May we be the soul friend, the Anam Cara, who awakens the wild possibilities within our beloveds through the ordinary yet extraordinary gift of time spent together. May it be so. Amen. Blessed be, and namaste. I honor the divine being within you, and namaskar. I see myself in you. Namaste. Mm-hmm.